Stugotz here for Blue Apron. 51 weeks of the year, Blue Apron does meal kits, but they've learned from some of their most loyal customers that they've been hacking Blue Apron to make their favorite side. So this year, Blue Apron has created special Thanksgiving side kits just for that reason. I cannot wait to make the stuffing. Oh, do I love stuffing. I love stuffing. It's my favorite side for Thanksgiving. Customize your recipes each week based on your preferences. Blue Apron has several delivery options so you can choose what fits your needs. And there's no weekly commitment, so you only get deliveries when you want them. Each meal comes with a step-by-step, easy-to-follow recipe card and pre-portioned ingredients and can be prepared in 40 minutes or less. Blue Apron's freshness guarantee promises that every ingredient in your delivery arrives ready to cook, or they'll make it right. Check out this week's menu and get $30 off your first meal with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Stugotz. You'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. That's blueapron.com/Stugotz. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
With the Citi Double Cash Card, you get 1% cash back when you buy and 1% as you pay. That's like the joy of getting 2 W's on the road or catching the home run ball without spilling your drink. Double boom. Double the love with the Citi Double Cash Card. Apply now at Citi.com/doublecash.
Don Le Batard.
A standing ovation for Meryl Streep. Hey, come on. She's been nominated 20 times, and she's won 3. She's a 150 career hitter. Very bad per. Streep.
Stugotz.
150, Dan. I get you back, sent back to the minors within a week. She's
right.
Buddy Biancalana. My sense is you agree with me on this.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Did we just play that Meryl Streep rip while Denzel Washington's on hold? That's just what we did?
Yep, we did.
You ripping Meryl Streep for no good reason.
Maybe Denzel agrees. Never know.
No, he doesn't agree.
You're probably right. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Now you can test drive Snapshot even if you have insurance with another company. See how much you can save.
You're the worst, man.
Before you made this
worst.
It did seem like you were agreeing with my every word there.
No, I don't agree with you on Meryl Streep, for the love of God.
I mean, maybe ask Denzel. Who knows? You never know.
I'm not asking Denzel that.
Maybe
I'm not asking him.
Denzel Washington going to join us here on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Monday Night Football, Matt Ryan and the Falcons travel to Seattle to take on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks tonight, 8:30 on ESPN, and in Spanish on ESPN2. While Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Danica Patrick wrapped up their final race of their career, Martin Truex Jr. clinched the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup title with his win at the Homestead Miami Speedway. And finally, Ernest Hemingway survived 2 plane crashes on 2 consecutive days. That's what that sounder is for, that button. Well done there. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Saw the previews to this the other day. Roman J. Israel, Esquire. He's Denzel Washington plays an eccentric lawyer, a brilliant lawyer who's on, I guess, the autism scale or maybe the Asperger's scale. Denzel with us now on ESPN Radio. Always enjoy talking to this guy about a variety of different things. He's been married for 35 years now. 35 years.
Whoa.
I understand, Denzel, and thank you for making time for us. That
My pleasure.
You went Dutch on your first date? You made your wife pay on the first date?
No. I paid, but I didn't. I ran out of money by the time we got to the paying for the cab, so she paid for the cab.
How much was the cab?
I'm man enough to admit it.
How much was the cab?
How broke were you at the time that you ran out of money on the date? What happened?
It wasn't an expensive meal, but it was a hearty meal. It was a good hearty meal we had, and I had it all planned out. But she lived further away than I thought. And I'm watching the meter on the cab, and I'm realizing this is not going to work. I'm thinking I could just jump out by myself. I'd be fine if I was by myself. I could get away with it, but she paid.
What is the secret? What is Denzel Washington's secret to 35 years of marriage? Like, if you were to give some life advice to the people out there who want to embark on that kind of life.
Do what you're told.
Yep. Say yes. You are right, my friend.
Not just say yes. Say yes, dear.
Wait, but you're Denzel Washington.
It doesn't matter, Dan.
No, what do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
I'm Denzel Washington right now. I got to go home.
So do you never use that card? You never use, honey, I'm a big movie star. Like, I'm really important. Never. You never use that. It won't work at home.
No, it didn't. Not anymore.
Okay.
At the beginning, though. At the beginning,
Yeah. I think I used it up. I didn't pace myself.
When does that expire? After how many years? Like,
I didn't realize it did.
what a rude awakening when it did.
Yeah, I was shooting blanks. I was just, it didn't. It's sad. We don't have enough time, believe me.
Right.
Okay.
But walking through that front door humbles you, man. It really does, right, Denzel? It humbles you. Yeah.
That's correct. That's right.
Roman J. Israel Esquire is in theaters now. Has there ever been a movie you've been watching with your family and they were like, Daddy, this is no good?
You mean that I was in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. No, if I already knew it was no good before they knew, so I probably got up and left. So, but no, I don't. They're kind. They're kind to the old man.
Is there? Do you have a better fight scene anywhere in your history?
There's no way.
Argument scene than Gene Hackman and Crimson Tide.
There's no way.
Do you have a scene?
That's a good one.
Oh.
No, because we're going at it at the same time. Well, not an opponent quite like Gene Hackman.
How was that? How was doing that with him? Were you able to get out of your own head there? Because that's the height of acting, right? Going up.
Well, I realized that I'm in here with the world heavyweight champ, and I better bring my A game. So I was ready. I was doing the best I could.
Denzel, what scene of yours gives you goosebumps? Because in Crimson Tide, when you talk to the entire staff before you guys get on the submarine, oh my God, Denzel, I can watch it every day, all day.
That's you got the truth. The rain is coming down,
Yes.
and everybody's in the dress blues. The ship was right behind us, the submarine. It doesn't get any better than that.
So, but do you have a scene again? Roman J. Israel Esquire. We'll get to that with Denzel Washington in a second. Do you have a scene somewhere in your past where everything worked? The dialogue, you knew the writing was great, the cinematography, everything you were looking at, and you're like, wow, that is art. That's the height of what I do.
I remember coming home one time. I don't remember a specific scene, but my mother owned a beauty shop. And I remember walking in and saying, Ma, did you ever think that, I was going to become an all... And she says, wait a minute, stop right there, superstar. Oh, so you're a big shot now. So before I could even get my ego where I wanted, she made me clean up. She made me grab the bucket and the squeegee and do the windows. And she started calling me superstar the rest of the day. All right, superstar, get the garbage can over there, superstar.
So
clean the windows, superstar.
So you've got humble built into the fabric. You're not allowed to.
Yeah, early on.
So what Mom didn't take, your wife does. Like, you're not allowed to. You're not. Like, what? Denzel.
That's pretty good, actually.
Like, why are you never allowed to enjoy the fruits of your ego?
Because Mom and the missus don't care, Dan.
Like, what up? What is that?
Dan, are you married?
I am not. No,
Clearly, Denzel.
married.
Obviously.
You're a good judge right there. Look at that. Denzel figuring it out. Roman J. Israel Esquire is in theaters now. I'm curious, is there anything right now in sports journalism that Denzel Washington would like to change when he's enjoying his sports and he just doesn't like the way ESPN or someone else is doing it?
There's certain people who talk about my Cowboys that will remain nameless, but certain sportscasters don't particularly care for the Cowboys, and that upsets me because I've been a Cowboy fan since I was a little guy, and I believe in the Cowboys, and we're getting there. We're getting there. We're not there yet. But.
So Stephen A.
Who?
So how does Denzel experience last night? Like, are you suffering that entire second half?
Well, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Very good. Let's talk about your movie then. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Better subject. Roman J. Israel Esquire. How and why did you take this part? Was there something appealing to you about playing someone who was on the Asperger's scale?
Well, and that wasn't even in the script. That was something I sort of found in the research of the character, but it just Dan wrote a really wonderful script and a great part, and you don't get to. I was looking to do something completely different than Fences, the last movie I did, and this was that. It was completely different and just a good part and a good story.
What about the role? Like, how does Denzel Washington decide whether or not he's going to take a role? What's his method?
I have to ask him. You said it like it's another person.
I really did. I realized as I was asking the question, wow, I asked that poorly, but he'll let me skate on that because he's classy and dignified, and he's noble, and he would never point it out.
Yeah, not again. Not a second time. No, you just, you're looking for new challenges. You're looking to do something you haven't done before. And good scripts are hard to come by. It's not like I get 10 great scripts and I go, oh, here's one. I hadn't read anything quite like this, so I jumped right on it.
Do you have anything in the way of regret? What was the part that you were up for in the movie Seven? Was that Brad Pitt's role?
Oh, the Brad Pitt's role, yeah. Wow. I made a mistake there.
Yeah.
When did you realize?
Oh shoot, I can't think of the other part. What was it? Oh shoot, I can't think of the guy's name. Anyway, maybe it's not that.
Michael Clayton?
Michael Clayton, yeah, how'd you know that?
Thank you.
Michael Clayton. Michael Clayton.
Yeah. We know your career better than yours. Yeah.
Tony Gilroy wrote it, yeah. Yeah, it worked out all right, though. But George did a good job. He did a good job.
Why did you turn down Seven?
I just thought it was a little dark. Evil, just a little evil. But actually, when I saw it, it wasn't as bad as what I read. On the page, it was like, oh man, it's like I don't want to be a part. This is like the Devil's Workshop.
But I mean, you kind of were that in Training Day, weren't you? I mean, kind of.
Yeah, but I was older then. I was different. I'd already made the mistake with Michael Clayton. I'm like, not again. Not again.
Roman J. Israel Esquire is in theaters now. We can't talk to you enough, sir. Thank you for making the time for us.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Likewise.
Don Batard.
Let me be very, very clear. When it comes to commentary, talking about the game of basketball, I'm just talking about on television, the combination of content and personality and presentation. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I think I'm the best in America. I really do.
Stugotz.
He's the best, man. He is the best. He is great at television, great at radio, and I wish I had that kind of confidence about anything in my life other than my appetite.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
It is such a joy when a superstar, a famous person, is eager to be on the show. Sounds like they're happy to be in the place that they are. Denzel Washington is fun under all circumstances, but the idea that he enjoys being here and you can sort of feel it,
yes,
makes it feel very cool. Our thanks to Denzel Washington for joining us last segment.
He is an incredible actor, though, Dan.
That's right. He might be faking it. That's true. We've got a multi-pronged, I'm told we've got a multi-pronged sound, epic sound of the day to get to from Guillermo. But before we do that, this did not qualify. Ed Orgeron is the LSU coach. He is super Cajun. He is like the Cajun coach in Waterboy. He should coach rubbing his nipples shirtless. It's how he should do it on the sidelines for LSU. He was evidently excited about playing in a storm.
It's a total monsoon that game.
But I love the idea of Ed Orgeron talking about how much he enjoys. Orgeron told us he drinks what? 1,000 energy drinks a day? Was it 1,000? Do I have that number right? 2,000?
I think you're probably off by 985.
Okay, but it's a lot of energy drinks. A lot of energy drinks. Here's Ed Orgeron talking about playing in a storm.
It seems like the weather is getting worse as we speak. How does this affect the game?
Hey, you just got to love football, man. It's like playing football when you're a little kid in the backyard.
Thank you.
Go Tigers.
That is Straight Talk. It is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE network.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Does Ed Orgeron howl "Go Tigers" after sex? Because he ends every conversation that way. Every thought ends with "Go Tigers." Let me hear that again. This is Ed Orgeron, the Cajun coach and Waterboy, talking about how much he loves playing in a storm.
It seems like the weather is getting worse as we speak. How does this affect the game?
Hey, you just got to love football, man. It's like playing football when you're a little kid in the backyard.
Thank you.
Go Tigers.
And And then, on the way home from the stadium, he was actually paddleboarding on an alligator all the way home down the bayou. That's how he got home after the game.
Go Chicago!
He is so Cajun,
Yes.
man. And he's not saying it go G-O. It's G-E-A-U-X. And then after the game, I just love that he's the coach of.
It's perfect.
It's just so great.
Because more than any coach, he sounds like the region that he coaches in, the area that he coaches in. He sounds like his fan base.
Every word sounds barbecued. Every word that comes out of his mouth, deep fried. So that's not the epic sound of the day.
Not since Jim Calhoun has a coach sounded like his region.
Oh, no, wait a minute. There's no. In the history of sounding like your region, Ed Orgeron is the winner. There will be no dilution of this. There will be no dispute.
Agreed.
You will come with no challengers that will rival his Cajun throne. Nobody sounds more like their region coaching a team than red-faced, energy drink slurping, Cajun Southern fried soaked Ed Orgeron.
How about Ozzie Guillen?
Oh, good answer. That was a good answer.
Pretty good.
And not a bad
Not
answer.
Ed Orgeron, though.
Also, not Ed Orgeron in a storm.
It seems like the weather is getting worse as we speak. How does this impact the game?
Hey, you just gotta love football, man. It's like playing football when you're a little kid in the backyard.
Thank you.
Go Tigers!
I mean, I totally expect. Do you mind if I take my pants off? I'm just going to take my pants off and run in the storm. Because why? Because I'm Ed Orgeron.
Go Tigers!
Yeah. Just I'm gonna run. Is that okay with everybody? Sure, Ed, it's fine.
Go Tigers!
So, Guillermo, epic sound of the day. That did not qualify. What is your two-pronged? Play the imaging first, please.
Time now for Guillermo's epic sound of the day. It is going to be epic.
Hey, guys.
Hello, Guillermo.
Hey, Bill.
Dan, you'll never believe this. Today, epic sound of the day.
Two-pronged.
Dan, we're going to, every time, Dan, you come in, you try to undercut me and ruin it for everyone. I mean, Stugotz, 2 sounds today.
Wow.
2-parter.
No way.
Yep. First part, Joel Embiid, the other day, after his game against the Clippers. This sound, by the way, is courtesy of NBC Sports Philadelphia. Here he is telling you where he's at health-wise.
Against the Clippers, after that line, 32-16, you said you were only at about 50%. What are you at now, big boy?
He's gotten a little bit up. Still working on my conditions. So I'll say 69%. So I'm at 69%, so he's getting the...
All right, we'll keep an eye on that as well.
Part 1, Dan.
Okay, but hold
See
on.
what he did
I
there?
feel like that should be sexual harassment. I feel like that the flames on all of this should climb up and grab Joel Embiid, too.
Well, what about Gronk?
Him, too.
Wait, why?
So did Roberto. Why not?
He said 69%. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's the
the
number.
percentage.
You're
What's
right?
talking to a woman reporter. You're sexual
I don't get it.
innuendo. Okay.
Yep.
Anyways, go ahead. Keep-
Percentage.
Yeah, it's a percentage. I don't see what he's
Stop
doing
thinking
here.
so much.
Anyways, part 2, Dan, came over the weekend when they played the Warriors. This one's courtesy of NBC Sports Bay Area.
They'd like Embiid a little bit lighter as he throws that away. But the problem, Jim, any cardio, he's pounding that 7-foot body. So you want him to lean up even more to take less stress off his feet.
Guess what? They can measure everything nowadays. And I talked to somebody from their staff, and they said right now he's only at 69% of his potential being in shape.
Wow. Come on.
Okay, I don't know how they exactly expressed it. But he's at 69% level, so he's not at 100% in shape yet. How about that?
This guy took it as a serious news report.
No, he talked to someone on the staff.
How about that?
The whole staff is just saying that and giggling?
How about that?
Don Batard.
Who at the network made Ryan Russillo this NBA expert? I mean, seriously. Jeez. Russillo's condescending attitude. Oh, you agree with Stugotz. Therefore, it can't be right. Get out of here, Russillo.
Stugotz.
How many threes did you hit in high school? Because I have the Long Island record for 6 threes and a half of a high school game. What did you do in high school? Did you even play basketball? I played the game.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Stugotz's weekend observations, very popular, are going to be in like a minute or two. A minute or two from now, you're going to get Stugotz's weekend observations.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Monday Night Football, Matt Ryan and the Falcons travel to Seattle to take on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks tonight, 8:30 on ESPN and in Spanish on ESPN2. In his interview with ESPN's Jeff Goodman, former Louisville Cardinal basketball coach Rick Pitino, who now lives in Miami, says that he hasn't ruled out a return to coaching, but says that he has to get on with different parts of his life. There are many parts left, Rick. Many centuries
Many centuries of work left to do, Count Patino.
And finally, scientists in Spain have created human sperm from skin cells, which could eventually lead to a treatment for infertility. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
A texter is writing in here, before we get to Stugotz's weekend observations, a texter is writing in here that Joe Kine, is it Kine or Kynes, the interim coach at Alabama? Doesn't he spell it with an S?
Kynes. This was the middle of the 2000s.
Okay, yes. So somebody is arguing that this guy sounds more like Alabama than Ed Orgeron sounds like LSU and the Bayou.
Been a while since you were the head coach. What do you tell your team at half?
We just got to stop that little inside trap. You know, the option didn't hurt us much. We're playing pretty hard. We just got to stop that inside thing. Offensively, we kind of sputtered around, got the ball in the end zone. Defensively, we got to get out off the field on that 2-minute drive.
With key injuries to your offensive line, what do you do in the second half?
Oh, we're just going to play. We just got to keep playing.
Thank you, Coach.
Now, if Alabama had done it the way LSU did it, that guy would have simply remained the coach, and Nick Saban would have never been the coach. Just hire the guy you got, keep him there. He sounds like our place.
Yes.
Put him in charge.
I forgot about that guy, man.
We would have never gotten Nick Saban if Alabama did business the way LSU does. Or Clemson, for that matter. Clemson did it with Dabo, too. Just, hey, here are a couple of games of interim coach. You could be our guy.
What's your name, Dabo? Perfect.
Hired.
We'll take it. Time now for Stugotz's weekend observations.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend Observations is brought to you by Metro PCS. Choose 4 free phones from brands like Samsung, LG, and Motorola when you switch 4 lines to Metro PCS. Sales tax not included. Not valid for numbers currently on the T-Mobile network. Roger Goodell is back. Jerry Jones, your apology was as fake as your face.
Whoa.
What happened? What happened there? Jerry Jones, in response to a video message being leaked showing him appearing to be drunk and saying, Jennifer, congratulations on the wedding. Now, you know he's with a black girl tonight. Don't you? Said he's sorry, and that's not who I am. No, Jerry, that's exactly who you are. Haven't confirmed it yet, but I'm hearing the man who took that video was Roger Goodell. Russell Wilson had his jaw realigned after taking a hit by Carlos Dansby. Doctor said it was successful. Good news. Moving forward, we'll still be able to clearly hear him say nothing. Brad Stevens said, the Celtics are not as good as their winning streak suggests. Brad, here's what I suggest. Shut up and stop lying. Big Ten football. Ugly. If Wisconsin makes the Final Four, I won't watch. Not because they aren't deserving. I just can't watch. 3 career concussions now for Anthony Davis. Just 107 more until he catches Luke Kuechly. 9 tackles, 1 sack, pick 6, and a turnover chain. Heck of a day for Jaquan Johnson. Can we all agree on this? A few weeks ago, Jameis Winston definitely groped and assaulted his fingers. If I am prosecuting Jameis Winston for any crime, the only evidence I am presenting is the most recent pregame speech. Still haven't been able to shake that speech, man. Miami avoided the letdown game and now must avoid the dreaded look-ahead game. LaMelo Ball shoplifting in China is the second worst thing one of the ball kids did this week. No one had a better Sunday than Tyrod Taylor grabbing his crotch. Baker Mayfield's Heisman moment. If he wins the Heisman Trophy, they should present Baker Mayfield with a special edition trophy of a player grabbing his own crotch.
Yes!
Maize and blue. More like maize and poo.
Nope.
You know what the Chargers put up on the Bills? A 50 burger. Scott Frost. When there's smoke, there's fire. Close your eyes for a minute, Dan, and imagine Baker Mayfield grabbing his crotch and shouting, bleep you.
Yes.
Now imagine he's black.
What?
Schools are going to have to start paying Kansas to get them on their schedule. They're bad. There is nothing worse than accidentally updating your iPhone. A question mark hate? Updating my iPhone. Kevin Durant sprained his ankle. Apparently, there are some scattered pebbles along the easy path. Tampa Bay Lightning, Winnipeg Jets, Lord Stanley, collision course. The most terrifying thing in sports is watching Jay Cutler drop back to pass when he's on your fantasy team. Why is Dick Stockton still calling games?
Such a good question.
Why is Gerard Bushrod still playing football? Why is Jay Cutler on my fantasy team? So wait, Jay Cutler was concussed after he threw those interceptions?
That's right.
Ryan Fitzpatrick has eaten as many W's in 2 games as Jameis Winston ate in 8 games. Charge me whatever you want. Put them in the octagon. I'm paying for Trump versus Ball. UCLA finally said no more. Great touchdown by Tariq Cohen yesterday. Spun that defender around like a dreidel. Lane Kiffin, UCLA, collision course. The Cowboys' playoff chances came and went. John Elway said his team is playing soft. No, John, your team is playing without a quarterback. There seems to be a pretty good one available that just last year you were discussing trading for. Not signing him is soft. Stop insulting your players and fix your team. And while you're at it, fix your teeth. Alvin Kamara.
Whoa.
What happened there? I don't even know what happened there.
Whoa.
What happened? I mean, his teeth. Fix them. Alvin Kamara, Rookie of the Year, collision course. Aaron Rodgers, you made your point. Now, please, come back. Nathan Peterman, congratulations. It took you less than a half to throw more interceptions than Tyrod Taylor threw in 9 games. In what world did the Bills think a guy named Nathan Peterman would be a good NFL quarterback? Sean McDermott said Nathan Peterman might start again next week. I guess Tyrod Taylor just isn't the white fit.
Play the white guy sounder.
What happened there? Did you watch the Chiefs game? That's why they drafted Patrick Mahomes. The Rams looked a little goth. Travis Homer runs with a purpose. Hey, Charles Manson, when you get down there, make sure you say hello to Art Briles. Then those are the weekend observations.
Maize and poo.
Yeah, I was choosing between maize and poo and maize and do. I went poo.
Money in
Smart
the bank.
choice.
Money in the bank.
More efficient.
Money in the bank.
Keep it moving, you know?
Guillermo, put it on the poll.
I mean, Harbaugh's done, right? He's done.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Would you watch a pay-per-view of Trump versus Ball if Jones and Goodell were on the undercard?
So wait, Jones, Goodell. Oh, God.
Jones, Goodell on the undercard, Trump and Ball in the octagon.
I'd pay any amount of money. I'm just thinking if the undercard's better than the actual main event. The undercard's pretty good.
You think Goodell Jones is better than what should be the? All right, put that on the poll too. What should be the headliner on our pay-per-view card? Goodell versus Jones or Ball versus Trump?
Don Le Batard.
You're just allowed to give me one word on what you think. I tell you, American flag. You give me one word on what you think. Go ahead, Chris. You're only allowed one word.
Freedom.
That's what I was going to go with.
Stugotz.
Guillermo.
Bald Eagles.
What?
It's 2 words.
Well,
I mean, God, $2.
That's a fine.
$2. I mean,
That's a fine.
Do you realize? You realize how hard it is to be that bad with 2 words, man?
Apple pie.
I got 2 words for you.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Stugotz, is the Baker Mayfield thing real? Are people talking about the idea that if you grab your crotch, you're somehow less Heisman Trophy eligible? Is that a thing that people are doing with the purity of college sports, where they're making Baker Mayfield not be a representative for sportsmanship and saying that he's going to cost himself the Heisman because he grabbed his own crotch while playing Kansas?
Some people are saying that it should perhaps cost him the Heisman. I know Dave Pasch, I think, was calling the game, and he was saying that NFL GMs will mark that down. And then I heard this morning other people, like Jeff Saturday, saying, no, some NFL GMs will love the fact that he's that cocky, that he's that brazen, that he's kind of like that. So, but I do think there are some people saying that might affect his Heisman chances. I don't think that it will.
Yeah, the bigger storyline is NFL GMs take note.
Of crotch grabbing?
Yes.
Yeah, crotch grabbing and bleep you. I don't know if you saw what sort of maybe triggered that whole thing from the sideline.
They started it.
Well,
no, they did. I mean, it was a funny move, and it was a funny reaction by Baker Mayfield. But, Mike, go ahead and tell the story. But they started it.
Who's they? Who's
Kansas, the entire team.
He's blaming Kansas for this because at the pregame handshake.
Kansas, the worst team in Division I.
Yes.
Right. Well, they did. You know the move when Oklahoma came to the Orange Bowl? And it wasn't exactly this because it was Jerome Brown doing this, but the Miami Hurricanes were just having none of that sportsmanship.
At the coin toss, the Miami Hurricanes were saying to Oklahoma, calling them names, I ain't afraid of you, B-word, and everything else.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that. Baker Mayfield, this is what they did. Baker Mayfield went in for a handshake after the coin toss, and they left him hanging, Kansas. He just shook the air, and he clapped his hand like, okay, you're Kansas, you're doing this, all right.
Yeah,
so that's why Baker Mayfield was super fired up.
But they started it. Now, I found it funny because you're Kansas and you're doing that to Baker Mayfield, and his reaction to it was fantastic. Like, okay, really? I'm going to light you up today. And then they took a cheap shot at Mayfield on the field early in the first quarter. So he was mad, and so he did what he did. But that's Baker Mayfield. I love that guy, man. I want him on my team.
White guys! White.
I love the idea that we are still clinging to the vestiges of college football purity. that we're still doing that. What? He grabbed his crotch? Oh, penalty. You're not allowed into the country club room in the downtown athletic club where we honor sportsmen.
Where Johnny Manziel is.
Where Johnny Manziel cleaned himself up, got out of rehab for a couple of minutes to give a nice speech. Feeding the mythology. I don't know why I've made the Heisman Trophy room like Ted Knight from Caddyshack.
Yeah, it feels like that, though. I think who would be the guy who's doing that?
Not allowed in our club after grabbing your crotch, boy. Now I don't know. Now I made him kind of redneck. It's a poor impersonation all around.
He really got up in there, though, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he grabbed it.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy, though? There was another guy in college football this weekend that pretended to that pantomime the Weinstein that he just did. There was a defensive back or
Louisville.
something.
Yeah, Louisville.
Louisville's defensive back. Oh, Louisville. You guys, I've been meaning to get to this. No lie. Since January, Louisville. I have not seen anything more. This is what I love about the idea of college football being pure and the idea of Baker Mayfield getting in trouble with the Heisman Committee.
There you go. Stay there.
With the Heisman Committee.
Like a fresco.
Right there. That's your pitch.
Hey, grabbed your dong. This is what I love. I was watching a bowl game involving Louisville, and they had, I'm not kidding you, Mike, they had a list of guys who were out on the injury list, and the bottom two were out, and it said parenthetically, gunshot wounds. Two guys out, parenthetically, gunshot wounds.
I remember that. I'm glad you finally got around and getting to it.
Yeah, it took me several months, but now I've got the perfect example. So,
Almost a year, Dave.
So, wait a minute. Bobby Petrino runs that college football team. You already ran that vampire out in basketball where Rick Pitino was running your basketball team. You're going to sell me that Lamar Jackson's up for a Heisman Trophy of purity? That's really what you're going to sell me. My dad has a vote.
That's the best.
You're going to try and sell me that you can't have a guy winning the Heisman Trophy at quarterback for Louisville because he's not pure enough if he grabs his crotch. I understand that Baker Mayfield plays for Oklahoma, but Lamar Jackson wouldn't deserve the Heisman Trophy if he grabbed his crotch and playing in a bowl game that guys are out with gunshot wounds.
Pretty certain O.J. Simpson won a Heisman.
That was way before the whole thing.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, I'm just saying, like, once he's in the club, you don't care about who else is in the club, I think, right? I mean, and Baker Mayfield's a great point by texters. Probably should have said he was just adjusting his cup.
They took away his Heisman. They cared who was in their club.
Oh, they did?
Did they take away his Heisman? I know they were trying to, but I thought it was because they wanted to sell it or something. No?
I mean, if anybody was going to sell it, it'd be him, no?
That's a good point.
Does he have his Heisman? Does O.J. Simpson have his Heisman?
If he has his Heisman, but Reggie Bush doesn't, that'd be something.
I just love the purity of this thing.
It's crazy.
The idea that Baker Mayfield can't grab his crotch on the sideline. Would you have gone the Stugotz denial route?
Because he apologized, and he apologized for what? He apologized for being himself.
Well, but this is what I love about
ridiculous.
Baker Mayfield. He keeps apologizing for stuff, planting flags in the middle of the 50-yard line, planting seeds while grabbing himself.
Apparently, O.J. still got that Heisman.
How is that? How Reggie Bush gave us back.
Can't Reggie Bush's Heisman back, please?
What did Reggie do? He got Mama House or something?
Yes, he got Mama House.
Reggie did college football.
Shame on him.
Reggie did college football.
Reggie, what did Reggie do wrong? He got a house for his mom. Wrong! What did Baker Mayfield do wrong? He adjusted himself. Let me try it again. You're not allowed in our club. The club's about sportsmanship, bro.
You can always count on Bud Light, just like you can always count on Tailgate Terry. Without Tailgate Terry, you wouldn't have cold Bud Lights and 7-layer dip at every pregame. That's 56 layers per season. Just the right amount if you ask Terry. Tailgate Terry is famous among friends. He deserves a Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, 80 St. Louis, Missouri.